Well, we have a new truck in the stable. Well, it's been here for a while, actually. So, this is a 1998 Chevy Silverado. It's the Z71, so it's four-wheel drive. To my knowledge, it has the 5.7 in it, but could be wrong. A transmission shop said that this has a 92 to 96 transmission in it or something like that, versus this being a 98. But I picked it up for very cheap from my mother, and so we're going to hopefully fix this guy up. And then, who knows what we're going to do with it? You tell me. If you noticed in the title, it had a number 15 in it, and that's because this is the 15th car that I've owned, or vehicle that I've owned. And hopefully we'll own many more. But for now, let's kind of jump into it and see what we got going here. It does have two considerable dents, one being here, and then one being the back quarter here. So we'll try to knock this out from the inside, and then worst case, if the front doesn't knock out, I can get a cheap fender for it at the local junkyard. These have seen better days. Kind of gross. I ordered new ones of those, so we'll get those put in. The grill's kind of peeling, but we're not going to mess with that. I have new bulbs for the headlights on the way. I just noticed that. Maybe we should fix that. So we'll fix that. This one seems alright, that doesn't seem alright. Maybe we have to get a new grill. Oh boy. That thing needs power steering fluid real quick. Don't know why it does that. The previous owner said that the wipers didn't work. However, I pulled the fuses and it was just missing the fuse. But I think it's a good idea to just replace all of these. And so I've got the cheap Harbor Freight ones, and we're just going to do that. And actually, a majority of these fuses are wrong. Like, this one should not be a 30 amp fuse. Don't know why that's a 30. I don't know if they got mixed up here, but we're just going to replace these all using the proper amperage. And just do them all, why not? Get it done right. Okay, and like that, we are good to go. So we can pop our cover back on. And there we go. Okay, so let's have a look if the wipers work. They do. And what about the washer pump? Excellent. And now I just filled up this washer pump. Let's turn this off. I did just fill this washer pump up. It was leaking, and it was just because the pump was slightly sideways in there and the little peg that holds it in was out. So I wrapped that with some tape and popped it back in there, and that shouldn't happen again. But we're going to keep an eye under the truck just to make sure it doesn't leak overnight. As far as the engine goes, it's missing this cover, and obviously the air filter's not very well held on, so I may make an air filter system for this. I may just get a replacement for that because those are cheap. I need a hose clamp for this because it's just kind of chill in there, so none of this is really attached very well. This is obviously not working, it's popping out, and there's nothing I can do to stop it from doing that, so we'll have to get a new one of those. The power steering leaks very badly, like over a day or two, so we'll have to replace that. As you can see, the belt has seen better days. That's already on order, and we'll replace that when we replace the power steering pump, which we've also ordered. Let's see what we're looking at for brake fluid. Brake fluid's gross, but full, so we might flush that out. It also leaks from the spider here, and so I'm going to do a gasket around that. They sell what they call a fuel injection repair kit, and that'll include the gaskets. To do all this, I'll do the throttle body as well, and then hopefully get the clamp for the air intake here. Once we get all this situated, we're going to give it a good feed of seafoam through here. That'll hopefully clean the valves up a little bit. I do plan on replacing the valve seals on it because that can cause fouling spark plugs as well. But that'll be a future kind of problem. The AC leaks. I'm told it is from the low side port. One of these two here. The Schrader valve is leaking probably. And so we'll replace the Schrader valve entirely, and then we'll recharge the system. The AC should work. I detest these battery cables. If you have these type of battery cables that just clamp down like that, throw them in the trash. They're worthless. Get the molded ones that are all like molded together, because all this does is attract corrosion, and it's garbage. And then once all is said and done, we're going to clean up this engine bay very nicely and make it pretty and beautiful. And then underneath, you can't see anything, but up in here, the transmission is leaking, and it's leaking between the junction of the transfer case and the transmission itself. So I have a new seal. We're going to kind of shift the transfer case back. We'll probably have to disconnect the drive shaft, and then we'll replace that seal and put it back. Other little stuff, I'm gonna replace the little thing that goes in here. I mean, the tailgate works fine. We're not gonna mess with that, but I want the little plastic that goes in here. The tail lights are atrocious and god-awful, and I'm getting rid of those and putting some stock ones on it, because as much as people want to argue, these make the value of your truck go down, not up, because they look cheap, and they are cheap. So stock one's going back on there. There's nothing I can do about that, so it's gonna stay there. Inside the truck, it's not horrible, like a couple of loose panels, kind of dirty, that can clean up. I have this on order because, God, what happened? The passenger airbag thing just kind of sticks out there, so we're gonna fix that. Big chunk out of the seat, not really a lot I can do about it because this is a bench seat, and I don't think I can find one locally. So we'll probably just leave that alone and maybe throw a blanket over it or something. The tires are also pretty dry rotted, but I don't really like solid shooters anyway, so I think I'm just going to pick up a takeoff set of newer wheels. But all in all, I think it could be a good truck, honestly. So drop your comment below what you think we should do with it and what direction we should go with it, and I'll be sure to read all those comments. So that's about all I have for you. Hope you like the truck. I hope I like it too, but we're going to find out. So hope you like the video. As usual, you be good while I'm gone. I'll see you next time. Have a good week.